Hello? Oh, there's still nothing. I'm going to try and set up a new meeting. Oh, wait. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's crackly again, though.
Oh,
Probably the
it's
same.
crackling again. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna leave and take my headphone off.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. Okay. I can hear you. Yes, and it's not crackly. Yay. Sorry. I try to change the volume and then it pings in my ears when I'm like touching the thing and yeah. It's all good.
Okay, but I can't see you.
Okay, that's fine. I've just turned it. I hadn't turned it on. Yeah.
Oh, great. Must have been my headset.
I think they're so fragile, aren't they? Like the microphone parts and the wires, they just break so easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just doing a class as well. I was working, so I don't know what's wrong. I'll reboot my computer in a bit. Little monkey. Just woken up.
Oh, bless you. I have a son who's 3, so I totally understand what it's like working around children.
I know it's enough. I mean, he wakes up just about 5 minutes ago. He woke up, and I finished with Dada at 2:15, so it's perfect timing.
That's really good, actually. That's really good.
Really good. Yeah. There's no wide awake today, aren't you? So next to Mummy. Oh, how long have you been with my tutor for?
Actually only since June. So,
okay.
Yeah, they over summer had like reached out to some people who wanted to interview, and I started doing that as well because they were so busy. And I really like it. I was with Dada before that. I just actually left Dada about 2 weeks ago.
Have you?
Yeah, I liked it there, but it's I felt like the way the classes run with Dada, they're like random times, and it's hard to keep track of, I think. And there was other things, like they're quite difficult to contact sometimes if you have a problem, and it's one of the things with iTutor, they're really different. Like, for example, this morning I've been having trouble with my internet, so if I freeze as well, it just freezes for a moment and then I'll come back. But they were great, I had trouble in my class and I told them, so they got someone to come and like take over my computer and look through everything, and they're like, everything meets the standards, there's no reason why it should happen, you just need to try and contact your provider. And like, I missed all my classes because of that, and they were just so good about it, they just remove it, like, because normally they'd count that as an absence, but they were so good.
Brilliant.
How long have you been with Dada?
About 18 months, 17 months.
It's such a great way to work, isn't it? Especially when you've got kids.
Hi. It is.
You're shy. Hey, we have the same top. We're same.
Yeah, so it is brilliant. I mean, I like the fact that I'm home with him.
Yep.
And childcare is brilliant.
That's it.
and my husband's here, so I can do extra hours if I need
Hmm.
to.
Yeah,
And all the
that's
he doesn't have to worry about childcare.
and you'll have lots of awesome props having kids. I just
Oh,
take
I
the fun
do.
stuff.
I know, I do. I've just got myself a Mr. Potato Head and Mrs.
Yes, my son loves them. Yeah, we've got about five now.
Oh,
They're
have you?
great though. They're so good. Yeah. And like my son has so many books as well, and they come in really handy. Like
They
just
do.
random things. If I ever teach a class about a cat, I'll see if he's got a book about a cat or yeah.
It's so good to have when you've got kids to do this job because you can pick up
Yeah.
anything in the
And I
house.
think like I don't know about you, but like before I had my kid, it wasn't like I didn't. Sorry, that's my internet. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, before I had my son, I don't. Sorry, I'll wait. Is it okay now?
Yes, okay now, yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know why, but it actually tells me when it's happening on Zoom. It'll say like you're unstable, so I know when it's happening, which is
Ah,
quite good. And I just wait.
yeah,
But yeah, before I had my son, I wouldn't say I was like not a kid person, but I didn't really understand how to entertain them properly. And then after having
yeah,
my son, I was like a lot more interested in teaching online. And I think I would have been terrible at it before because I just didn't know how to amuse a child. And now it's so easy for me because I'm like, yeah, I know what to do.
yeah.
Yeah, kind of understand what amuses them. So like, I think what I found great with Dada is like I loved that they had their own software. Although like it doesn't really make a difference as long as it works. I thought that was really cool. Is there anything that you like really like about the way Dada works, or anything you didn't like?
I mean, with the data, I quite like the fact that you have free talk as well, because with the
Yeah,
older children, sometimes they don't want to do the slide. They're happy to just talk
yeah,
about done or things they're going to be doing. So it's quite nice. I've joined, say, ABC, but it's very different. It's not like that at all. You have to do the slides.
yeah.
But well, how is it with iTutor?
So it's different from Dada in that way too. Like they do, you have a certain amount of slides that they want you to work through, but they're
Yeah.
normally not enough to fill the time. So you do get a
Oh,
lot of freedom that way as well,
yeah.
especially if the kid's quite advanced and they work their way through quickly. I had a kid that done all the slides within 3 minutes before because he was learning the days of the week, but he already knew them, and that was it. So you've got freedom around that, which is really good.
Oh, that's good then. That's really good.
They're really good with that. Like you
Is
can
it one
teach
to
the
one?
lesson. Usually, most of the time it
Yeah.
will be, especially now that summer's over. But
Yeah.
sometimes it, like today, for example, it was a lot of one-on-twos because it's the weekend. I think
Mhm.
as they bring in more teachers, that'll start to fade away a bit. And
Yeah.
all of the kids actually aren't back at school yet. It's like in China, they don't all go back on the same day. So some of them are
Yeah, I
still,
think some of them are starting on Monday, I was told today,
yeah,
and some are starting the week after on the 9th.
yeah. And like a kid I spoke to today had went back yesterday. So it
Oh,
was quite random.
yeah,
So,
random. Yeah.
so it was really
And
so busy in the summer. It was crazy. Yeah, it's like
with
all day.
ABC, you have 4 children.
Okay. Every time?
Uh, I mean, you always have 4 children in the class, but if they turn up,
Right. Okay.
that's if
Yeah. Yeah.
we normally have 3 minimum, we might 2 to 3. But if not, it'll be it's 1 to 4.
See, I don't mind that, but
Yeah.
I think there has to be sort of a system in place to make that work, which is a good thing. At
Yes.
iTutor, you can mute them so they don't
Yes.
talk over each other.
Yes, you can mute them on Save ABC as well.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can get quite chaotic. I think 4 is too much.
With
I think
children.
2.
Yeah.
When they're older, it's okay, but when they're younger, if you
They
have
just
5,
shout.
6 year olds, they're shouting and they're
Yeah.
all trying to get attention.
Yep.
And I feel really bad for not. Oh no! Which one do I talk to?
I hate that situation because the kid that's shouting, they're so excited usually, but at the same time, it's like shh, and that because you don't want to like the other parents are sometimes there, and you're like, you know that they think that their kids not getting enough time. And
You.
that's the good. I think the good thing with iTutor is like they'll put it as a one-on-one if they can. Like the
Yeah.
one-on-two's an option only if there's not enough teachers, you know. So that's kind of how it
That's not
works.
too bad, I think. Really
No,
not too bad.
that's the most children I've ever taught. They do teach adults as well. That's how they're able to teach 24 hours a day. You're in the UK, aren't
Oh,
you? Yeah, they teach 24 hours a day, so you can book slots around your child so easily. It's so good.
my God.
It's really good.
My husband's just started with Dada.
Has he? Yeah, does he like it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but we're looking to go traveling next year.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
So, yeah, I didn't know iTutor was 24 hours.
Which is great if you're traveling, because if you're in different time zones.
Exactly. We're looking to go to Mexico to start off
Oh, that
there.
would be good. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm homeschooling my 10-year-old. Well, she'll be 11.
yeah.
Uh,
Okay,
so we just wanted to finish year six first and then get out there.
okay. We did something
Yeah.
like that. We were just back actually. We went to Asia and traveled when my son was only 2 at the time. We went around.
Oh,
I wasn't teaching
amazing.
at the time. I had a different job which didn't require my webcam, which I just it didn't make as much money, but because I could do it with my son there, it was much simpler. Um, but now that I've done this, I don't think I'd go back to that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
traveled. We went to Thailand, Hong Kong, Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia. Did it
Oh,
all.
really? How did you find it with kids, with children?
Actually, not that bad to be honest, because at home I feel like it was a bit more madness at home. There's a lot of stuff to clean up. There's a lot of like running after him doing his washing. And
Yeah.
when we were away, we kind of had one room mainly. And someone else came in and cleaned that because we were in a hotel. We moved around a lot. Someone came and cleaned that. They changed our beds. Um, I think it would be a bit more difficult while I was teaching because you have to
Yeah.
like make sure you've got good internet. But I did interview for teaching jobs when I was out there, and it worked okay. You know, I wasn't planning to have good internet, and it worked out at the time.
Yeah.
But we were staying in the cheapest place possible because I wasn't earning too much, you know. But if I was
Yeah. I
earning
mean,
what I earn now,
yeah, we're looking to start off in Mexico and then go to Asia, go to Thailand.
yeah, Thailand's. Have you been before?
We've been twice.
Yeah,
Well, I've been
it's
twice.
so
My
good.
husband's been times. Yes, lovely. I haven't been with the kids, so it'll be a new
It's
experience.
so Thailand's so easy to travel. It's just made for tourists, though. Like people were worried all the time about us, and when my mum and my partner's mum came out, they were like, "Yeah, I love it here." They were
Yeah.
just worried. Like even at Koh San Road, my son loved it. You know.
Oh, it's so cheap as well out
Yep.
there.
Yep. Yep. So good. And there's
Oh,
a lot of
amazing.
big teaching community in Thailand, especially in the
Yes,
north.
in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got a friend who lives in Chiang Mai actually.
Yep.
I want to be near the beach, so I want to go
Yeah.
south.
Don't blame you. And the see right now with iTutor, I can work like 30 hours a month and make about 2 grand. 30 hours a
No,
week. 30 hours a week. Take that back. 30 hours a week. So it's still
30
really good.
hours a week. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So the wage that they offer, the only thing is that like they do offer depending on like where you're based. But right now you're in
Yeah,
the UK, so they should make an
yeah,
offer on that. But if you are planning to like move somewhere permanently, they do want to know. But if you're not
yeah.
planning to move permanently, it's kind of a different story. So
Yeah, no, no, we want to go for 6 months, so.
yeah, if I think they like the way that they probably think about it is if you spend most of your time in one country, like that's where they base your pay on, kind of
Yeah,
thing. I think if you plan to move somewhere permanently, they would try to change it then because they.
yeah.
Sorry, you go.
What's so 6 months or 12 months contract?
It's 12, but you you can like resign if you want to. You can just,
Okay.
I think some people were worried about that, and I'm like, no, it's like another job. Like if you want to quit, you can quit. If you want to resign, you can resign. And I think
Obviously, you have to
you have
give
like two
them
weeks notice or something. So it's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And do you get regular students like Dada?
not really. So in the beginning, they teach like in different sort of groups. So when you begin, you'll teach materials written by iTutor Group. Um, and then I'm not sure if it's after they sort of see how well you're doing, or after a certain amount of classes, they'll offer you to teach Oxford University Press, which was written by Oxford
Mm.
University, which is really cool. It's like the books that I did in school when I was younger, you know, like Biff, Chip and Kipper
Yeah.
books. It's
Yes.
like
Yeah.
same idea, but it's four kids, Scott, Andy, Jenny and Kate, and you follow
Yeah.
their like little things that they do. They go to school, you learn about what things they use at school, and you follow them saying good morning, and after, you know, you just follow them and learn.
Oh, brilliant.
It's really good. It's actually so well structured, and I think when you teach as well, down the side of the screen they've got lots of teaching notes, so you can walk into a
Yeah.
class like that without really preparing, and just
And
it's all there. It's
you can
like, here's
get
how to
on.
extend the class. Sorry.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. So it's all,
Who's
it's,
your provider?
I had EE, and I had a problem with them for about,
Oh no.
sorry, is it okay? Is it
Uh, yes, I
okay?
think. Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
It was, I was with EE for a while, and well, I'm at my mum's house since I came back from traveling, and she was with EE forever, and it broke in June, and they just got to the stage where like we can't fix it. So I
Mm.
changed to First Utility, who promised me like great speeds, and then now it's
It's not bad.
worse.
I'm with Virgin Media.
Yeah, I don't think they're in my area yet. I live in the middle of
Um,
nowhere, because the great thing with them is they install their own lines.
yes,
So
it's
they're
fibre optic.
yeah.
Have you tried BT?
I had them before, but not in
Yeah.
this house.
I mean, we've had even when I'm teaching, if the kids are on the internet or watching a movie on the internet, I've never had any problem with Virgin. The
Yeah,
speed is amazing. It's really, really good.
it's I wanted to sort of move to Virgin, but they're just not here yet where I
Not
live.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they so with like all the lines right now, BT own them all, but Virgin are the only other company that own their own like phone lines, so they need to actually go and like put them in before they can provide
Yeah.
internet in this area. So, and we're like, I live near Edinburgh, but
Okay.
in like a tiny little town with about 2,000 people, so they won't come here in a hurry, I don't think. It's
Oh,
frustrating, and I don't know what it is, because there's no reason for it to happen. I've had 3 or 4 new routers. They've fixed the lines. They've had like people. I've had engineers all the time. I've got boosters all over my house. I've got a cable plugged in. So
yeah.
it's just, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
the area I'm in, because I've moved my computer, but it was still bad before
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just one of those
Okay.
things.
I know. I know. But hopefully you can get it sorted out.
Yeah, I'm going to try and contact them again later, but not much I can do. My mum is planning to move out, and when she does, I'm going to just like set up right beside the router. But I feel rude doing that now because it's her living room. So, yeah.
What if you connect it directly instead of using Wi-Fi?
Well, I have got an Ethernet cable in, but it's into a booster, because
Ah,
I can't like sit right beside the actual router
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But yeah, I had the IT team from iTutor Group run through everything, and they're just so baffled. They're like, "There's no reason. Like, your speeds are really good. It's just unstable.
Yeah,
It makes no sense."
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a shame.
it's frustrating, because it in the process of changing providers, it like got stuck on off and just wouldn't come on. So for days when I was meant to be teaching, I've missed so many classes. It's so bad. Normally I make, like I say, about 2,000 a month with them, and this month I made like under 1,000, because I just my internet was off. There's nothing I could do.
Oh, that's such a
Yeah,
shame.
it's
So,
frustrating.
30 hours a week,
Yeah.
and do you teach adults as well, or just children?
Um. So the way it works is, if you teach children, you're gonna get adults as well, but you can choose to teach adults only if you wanted to. Um. for us at our time of day, we're quite unlikely to get them because it's usually if we booked our evening times that we're more likely to get an adult because
Oh,
I think there's just that many children. It's quite uncommon to get adults, to be honest.
yeah.
Probably now they're back in school. If you were booking the sort of early hours of our morning, it would maybe be adults rather than children. But they're actually
So
not too bad, the
yeah,
adults.
if I wanted to book in the evening, say 8 o'clock till 11, 8 till 10. So would I be getting adults at that time?
Most likely, yeah.
Okay, not too bad.
So
Because I
I've,
still want to have a mixture of both children and adults.
yeah, yeah. So to be honest, I can't even remember the last time I taught an adult. It was probably before summer
Yeah.
because I do. Don't get me wrong, you get 18-year-olds as well, but they come through as on the children accounts kind of rather than
Yeah.
adult. Mostly it's between 5 and 14 that you get age, and
Is
it
it
will.
like Dada when you turn up with a 20-month-old?
No, actually, I don't know why, but I've never seen that here, which is great.
Oh, okay, that's good. With Dada, I mean, I had a
Yeah,
21-month-old. I was thinking, my baby's 21 months. I could never get him to sit in front of
yeah.
a laptop.
My son's 3, and he can speak English pretty well, but I don't think he's going to pick up another
Yeah.
language. Not in front of a computer because he'll be like just clicking on YouTube or something instead if he could.
Yeah.
That drove
I
me
mean,
crazy at Dada.
how the kids learn, sit down and actually learn is brilliant.
They're so disciplined over there. I think they just embrace the way that this works, and I think it's great. So many people, like my friends, think that it's weird to work online. They don't understand it at all. And I'm like, no, I think it's great. I think in years to come, we'll all be doing classes like this.
Yeah,
It's just they've embraced it and it works. It does.
yeah,
You
it
see,
really works.
one great thing with iTutor actually is when you log in to where you sort of see your classes, you can see their level of English from like 0 to 12. So you can kind of go
Okay.
in knowing what to expect.
Yeah,
And don't get me wrong, it can be wrong, but it's not wrong as often as Dada's sort of
yeah,
ages and names and sex is wrong. It can be here, but it's not as common. So
yeah.
it's quite good. Something that I didn't care about much until I did like a really solid block of working with iTutor for like solid for a week while my son was away, like 10 hours a day. And then I went back
Mhm.
to Dada on the weekend. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do if I don't know the level? And it was like,
Oh,
I didn't care before. So just get on with it. But yeah,
that's a long day, 10 hours. How did you cope?
I did really good with it for a while. And then I had to get my wisdom tooth pulled out. And my mouth got like really badly infected and I couldn't talk. And I took loads of shifts and I tried to cancel what I could, but I couldn't get rid of like everything in time without getting penalised. So I would be in
Mm,
class like with an ice pack on my face, like holding it under my chin. And um, I think the rest from having the problem with my tooth is what probably made me okay. If I tried to work solid like that the whole time my son was gone, probably would have had a mental
yeah.
breakdown. I don't know. It was
Do
good.
you do you get paid for standby time?
No, but there's not very much standby time. You're usually fully
Oh,
booked. It's much different. So when I was working those really long days, I would say probably one day out of the week, there'd maybe be an hour where they couldn't find someone.
oh, really?
Yeah. Um,
Okay, that's a good thing
s-
to know.
some, so because I was on my own with my son a lot because his dad worked away, I've been doing a lot of like 2 a.m.s till 4 a.m.s during
Mhm.
summer. And then I started getting interviews with people who were in America. So they were sort of interviewing at like midnight and stuff. So I started putting in for the hour before that. And they couldn't always fill like the half 1 till half 2 in the morning. And that was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, that's like probably super early morning for them as well. Not that early, but it was about 6 a.m. or 5 a.m.
Mm.
So they can't fill everything, but it's usually a really good effort, to be honest. I've
Yeah, yeah.
never
What
had
hours
huge
do
gaps.
you do at the moment?
I'm still sort of, I got stuck on that schedule, so I'm still like half 2 till half 4 Thursday morning, same Friday. And then Saturday morning I work 5:30 till 9:30, and Sunday morning I work 5:30 till 9:30.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
that, so they have like, I'll send you this after. They've got a peak hour document that shows their peak hours. They're slightly different to Dada. So it's let me try and think of this properly. I think it's 12:30 till 3:30 Monday to Friday,
Okay.
and Saturday, Sunday actually. But they also on Saturday, Sunday have like 7:30 till 9:30 in the morning,
Oh,
and
that's
then
good.
1:30 till like 3:30 in the morning as well. That's their peak hours.
Okay. So if I did like the lunchtime hours, UK time, and then some evenings, then I suppose I could do it.
So you can sort of do,
I tried with Dada to do I did 2:30 a.m. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah, 2:30 a.m. till 4:30, and I struggled. Oh my goodness, I struggled because
I,
I couldn't sleep daytime with the baby, and I was just
yeah.
like a zombie. So I gave it up. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do it.
It was all right at
Well,
first when I was doing it because that was all I did was Saturday, Sunday, 2:30
yeah,
till 5:30 or something with them.
you're
That
good
was
for
fine.
doing it then.
But then
Yeah.
I started at iTutor a month later and I started working like 5:30 till 9:30. And then I did like an afternoon shift with iTutor as well. So I was like, I started to get like to the stage where I was like, no, I can't handle this. And then when I was on the medication for my mouth, it completely wiped me out. Like I could bear every like, even in the few minutes between classes, I'd be like falling asleep. I had to put an alarm on to wake myself up 2 minutes later because I'm like, whoa, because my medication was
Yeah.
that strong. Yeah, it killed me. It can be hard.
Oh no.
So obviously,
Oh,
like,
I do. I like the fact that you can have different hours.
mm-hmm,
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I like the fact that you can have different hours,
yeah,
uh, 4 hours, which is quite nice. I can work around the kids.
yeah. It's
Work
really
when
good.
he's sleeping, and he goes to bed in the evening, so it'll be perfect.
The other thing that they're really good about is, say you started now and you picked a schedule and then realized that you maybe didn't like that so much, or if you left Dada and you wanted to sort of replace those hours, you as long as you apply before the 25th of this month, your shifts for
Yeah.
next month will change to whatever you apply.
Oh, perfect.
So you can change it every month, which is good.
Mm.
And they don't, you can also book as much time off as you want as long as you do it in advance. So there's no
Yeah.
penalty like there is with Dada. If you need 3 days off, that's fine. They've got a great
Okay.
absence and cancellation policy. So you can cancel shifts at the last minute, so within 24 hours, 6 times within 6 months without it being an issue. Well, I think 5 times. On the sixth time, that then it's a problem. Um, but that's only within 24 hours. Cancellations outside of that are just, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay. That's good. Because at the moment, I'm doing 15 hours with Dada.
okay,
So I do Monday, Thursdays, Saturday morning. So I'll do the 2 shift in the morning and Sunday morning.
okay.
But I was thinking of dropping a couple of days. What's the minimum hours I can start with iTutor?
It's 7, but they want 4 on the weekend.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to think.
You don't
I
have
could,
to decide right now anyway. Like
yeah,
they'll
I'm
be
just trying to
fine.
think how to do it. I could do it Saturday afternoon or something. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the document as well to look at so you can see the times exactly.
Could I, to start with, could I do 2 on a Saturday and 2 hours on a Sunday?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 4 altogether.
Oh,
It's
okay.
yeah, 4
Yeah.
just across the weekend, Beijing
Oh, that's okay
weekend.
then. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the other thing that they're great with is so cancellations when you tell them you're not coming. If you just don't go, that's what they call an absence, and you can get 6 of those within 6 months as well. So you could just like not go, but they
Turn
also
up.
yeah just don't turn up, and then they call that an absence, so you just didn't go. That can happen 6 times before they would like terminate your contract.
Children.
Oh, they've got a great system actually. So if you're not in the classroom 1 minute before the class starts, they'll switch it to a standby teacher. So the
Oh,
children never get left waiting. It's really good.
yeah.
As well,
Oh,
if you get disconnected and you're away for more than a certain amount of time, they'll switch the child to another teacher. It's really good actually.
okay,
It's
that's
so good. They're never left waiting. They always, and they've got, you unless they've sort of studied which teacher they're expecting, they've probably got no
yeah,
clue that it's happened. They just go in and it carries on as normal.
yeah.
There's a time where I was teaching and I don't know what happened. My computer like completely like died because I was working like 10 hours that day and it got really hot. And when I came back, they'd switched the kid in with another teacher, which was fine. But it was great though.
Yeah.
She didn't have to like worry about missing time. They just gave her another teacher straight away and she carried on. It was
Oh,
great.
brilliant. That's a
So
good thing.
on
Yeah.
top of that, with the absences, once a month, you can use a free pass to cancel one of them out. So if you've got a technical problem and you can't get into your class, you can just go on and be like, yeah, I had a technical problem and like apply a free pass to it, which is great.
Oh, yeah,
Because they
that's
also
good.
give bonuses on full attendance. So if you don't want to lose your bonus, you can put your free pass onto it and your bonus won't get taken off you.
Yeah.
And the bonus
I
is an
have,
extra like £1 per class, so it's quite good.
oh, that's good. Yeah. I haven't really taken time off, but it's good to know. It's good to have that. With Dada, it's just so strict, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's hard to explain things, I think, sometimes. That, okay, I had a technical problem.
Yeah.
Okay, it's an absence. It's like, no, it's not. It's different. Yeah, I
Yeah,
had that.
exactly.
I dropped my computer and it just wouldn't even go on. And I was trying to explain that to them. And they're like, well, what will we tell your regular students? And I'm like, I didn't have any because I was resigning. And I'm like, well, for a start, I
Yeah.
don't have any. And the day that I was trying to get off was like my last day at the company anyway. And I'm
Yeah.
like, does it
Yeah.
matter? Like, they don't, I won't be their teacher anymore anyway. You know,
Mm.
they'd already took them all off me when they knew I was resigning. So
Really?
yeah, when they heard I was resigning, they like reassigned all my students straight away. So I didn't even see them again or get to say goodbye or anything, which really sucked.
So funny.
Yeah.
Just so weird. It's just, why they do things like that. There's no need for it.
I just think there sometimes when the people in customer service just don't know enough English to like explain it. They just go and do what they think they're meant to do and they don't tell anybody or they
It's
don't.
so fixated, aren't they? They're so,
Yeah,
like robots. So
yeah.
fixated.
I think like
Mm.
that's the great thing. For example, today when this IT guy came and he took over my computer, his English was really good. Like he came, they sort of tested us out in a classroom to make sure it was working, and I was sitting speaking to him like through my headset, and he could speak to me and communicate with me fine. You know,
Brilliant.
it was good.
Yeah.
And that's something that's available as well, 24 hours a day. Is the IT team? They're always there.
Yeah.
You can when you're in classroom, if you're having a problem, you can click, there's a little green IT button under your camera. But if the child's
Yeah.
having a problem, you can go and click on their little green button and IT will come and try and help them. So if you can't communicate to the child, like, hey, I can't hear you, you can tell IT and they'll like call up the parents or whatever and try and get it fixed. Like they actually help to get the problem fixed as well. They'll have an IT person phone up and like explain to them what to do, which is
Oh,
great.
that's really good. Yeah, yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do I go with the application process?
Oh, well, this is it. This is it. So once
Oh,
I'll ask you some more questions and then I send it over and they'll just tell you yes or no. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I
This
just
is
ask
easy.
like some questions. Basically, they want to know like about any experience you've got teaching English. You've kind of covered that. You've
I've
worked.
been in school, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
So
nice not to work in school, but yeah.
how many years did you do in a school?
12.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, 12, yeah.
So
Just didn't want to go.
that's
I had my baby last one,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
I understand. Like I never like worked in a school before, but just having my son and I'm like, I don't want to go out. Like I was at university actually when I first had him and I had to go back to that and I hated it.
I
I
know
just
it's
stay
so
away.
hard. It's horrible
Yeah,
leaving them. That age as well. You just want to be with them. You don't want to miss anything.
that's right. I
Every
just
day it's you. I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God. Yesterday I took him to the park and he went down the slide and I was like, oh my God, he went down the slide all by himself.
It's those things I think that I would hate to have missed though. Like I think my son's great, and like of a lot of our time we were traveling anyway, so I got to be with him like, every single day. It
Oh,
was
so lovely. You're so right. When I say to people, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I work online. I teach children. They're like, how does it work?
yeah.
What is
They
it?
they go like, but how do you talk to them? It's like we have like webcams have been around for like a long time now. How is that not obvious?
So I say, oh, it's a bit like Skype. So they can see me, I can see them, and
Yeah,
we talk like this. And, it's just normal. It's so normal. But some people just don't get it at all.
I know. There's that's the other thing. Like sometimes some of the teachers in Dada, I feel like, how did they become a teacher? Like because they just don't know how to use the computer. I don't know how they made it into the interview.
I
They downloaded the
know.
software and uh,
Yeah, it
it's
is
nuts.
crazy. You know what? I mean, I never knew about before I started doing online, did not realize how big it is. So many companies out there.
There's lots. That's what I always say to people. I'm like, if you get rejected from this one, try another one. Like, there's lots of
Yeah,
companies.
it's amazing. I mean, I stayed with Dada, but now I think, do you know what? I think I could get out there. So I've only joined a few Facebook pages, and I've realised that there's so many companies out there. I can get so much more.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I mean, I think it's just better teaching, better material. Even customer service will be so much better. It sounds better than Dada.
They've got a great system with that. So they've within the classroom, you can click on it, and they'll pretty much always respond, even if they're not quick. But if they're not
Yeah.
quick enough for your liking, we have our own like chat app that you have open while you're working. You can go and talk to the IT on there, and they'll come in and do something. So it's
Oh
really good.
wow.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Um, and then that's great as well because you've got that on your phone, so it's not as complicated to like try and contact them if your computer goes off or whatever. You've got it on your phone too, and
Yeah.
you can select, go in basically whenever you want, select more shifts. If you change your mind and don't want to do them, and it's more than 24 hours until the class starts, you just go in and untick them, and it's not a problem. So you can
Oh really?
chop and change your mind, which is great as well. So it's not
Yeah.
difficult. Like with Dada, it took me a long time to get my part-time tab opened. It was like a lot of back and forth, like
Yes.
telling them to do it. From day one, you can go in and book more time if you want it here. It's just not a
Oh
problem.
really? So do you have fixed time for the week and then you can add extra hours?
Yeah. So that's why I always sort of stick to, for permanent, my 7 hours, or it was 10 during the summer. So I stick to my 10 on my permanent schedule, and then I just, if I want to do the same extra ones every week, I'll just go and click through and apply those.
Oh, that's a good idea actually. Yeah.
That way, you've got a bit more flexibility if something does come up.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
And
Okay.
what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So you could wake up, say, in the morning, and maybe your husband's home and he wasn't planning to be, then you can go on and book shifts for that afternoon. So it's not like Dada where
Oh,
it's closed off for, I can't remember how long, but
it's
you,
it's a week, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. This
Okay.
is 4 hours. So after 4 hours from the time that you're looking, the slots will be
Yeah.
open, and you can just go in and book them.
Oh, that's really good.
It is. It's really good.
Good to know.
Um,
Yeah. And what about the pay? Do they pay monthly? Is it similar to Dada?
they pay monthly, but they pay on the 10th of the month for the month
Hmm.
before. And the other
Yeah.
great thing is you can see your payroll. So although mine didn't appear till the first time I got paid, which was fine, now I can go in and like literally just watch it add up, which is great. You can
Ah,
know exactly what you're earning. Um,
yeah, because with Dada you can't. So
yeah,
I did loads of extra shifts, and I can't see that when I go
no,
into my pay. I can only see my
yeah,
scheduled
you're
hours.
past. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was difficult with Dad. And then they would put in a number and tell you that was your overtime pay, and you just kind of have to trust it. And it was,
Yes.
that was the other thing as well that was quite frustrating with Dada, with the times being all random. It was difficult to keep track.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
here, the classes start on the hour or half an hour every time. So
Oh, really?
it's the same. So the time slots, for example, the first one starts at half midnight. So then you book
Yeah.
from half midnight to half one, and it goes from the half past to the half past. And
Is
you'll
it 30-minute classes?
they're 25 minutes, so you get 5 minutes in between to fill in the report, and open the next classroom.
Good
Um,
idea.
the reports are much quicker as well than Dada, because they don't have there is a minimum word thing, but it's like 50 or something, 50 characters or words, can't remember. Must be characters. But the other things, just like dot tick boxes pretty much. You just click them, and were they good at participation or bad? And we normally always try and be like very optimistic and click good. So it goes, you at first you grade the class, because people like us, like other consultants, can get invited to write classes. So sometimes there can be mistakes. So the little first box is like, how was the class? Was it long enough? And then you can write down a note if you want to, or uh, let them know if there was like a spelling mistake or something in it. And then the next part's like 6 different dots, like, did they participate? Did they do this? Did they do that? And then you write a little bit about it, and that's it. So you get
Oh,
time. For me, I get enough time between classes to do my reports for each one after, unless
yeah.
unless I go and get a drink or something. And you also get enough
Well, one
time to like run for a
thing.
pee.
With
So
Dada, you don't. You can sit there for three
two
hours.
minutes.
You can't go for a pee.
And the other thing with Dada is your camera goes on as soon as you go in. So you have to sort of, if
Yes.
you wanted to sneak away for a pee, you have to be really quiet. But
Yeah.
with
Well, what
iTuber,
I've
you
been
can turn
doing
it
is
off.
I put my camera facing the ceiling
Right.
so that I put my so before I enter, face my camera to the ceiling, go on mute, and I run to the toilet.
Yeah, I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't mute myself when I worked at Dada. So like, even if I used to cover my camera, but I couldn't mute
Yeah.
myself. And I'd always be on, so I'd be so scared to sneak away because my seat was really creaky as well, so they would know when I came back. But iTutor, you can turn yourself off until the
Yeah.
second the class starts, which is really good.
Oh, that's good. That's
It
really. Oh,
is,
you can do that with say ABC as well.
yeah. And
You can turn your.
the students don't have to have their camera on either, which some people find weird, but for me, it doesn't really bother me at all. They don't,
Yeah.
if they don't want to have it on, they don't want to have it on, that's fine. Sometimes I think it gives them a bit more confidence if they're shy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's quite good. And you can mute them, which helps you control if there's two of them.
Yeah.
Today I taught a lot of one-on-twos, and they were all fine. I didn't mute them. But sometimes they, I don't know if you've heard, but like a lot of the time it's really hot, so they have a fan on, and the fan noise comes down the microphone, so it makes it really noisy for the other student. In a situation like that, I just openly tell them, like, hey, there's a lot of noise coming through. I'm going to mute you both. When it's your turn to talk, I'll say your name, and that
Yeah.
works fine. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it sounds positive from what you're
I
saying.
really like it. I think the way that it works is really nice. I think the absence system wasn't there when I came, and they introduced that recently. So like the thing where you just don't go and you get free pass, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's great that they actually understand we might have a technical problem. That's how technology works. And
Which makes
then
sense.
yeah, it does. It does. Um, the other great, what was I going to say? The great thing as well, they've got so many different courses that the older children and adults pick an interest. So when they're doing the course, they're actually interested in it. So they can choose their materials rather than us. Well, it's not us, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really good
Oh,
too.
that's yeah. So at least I think older kids. Today I had a girl. She's about 11. She's 11 or 12, and we've been doing this slide over and over again, and the whole coursework is very similar. She's so bored of it.
Yeah. That's what one of my regular students was like. It was that dinosaur school thing, and it just goes through the same rules but in slightly different sentences.
We're learning about Christmas. I'm in the middle of summer, but hey
And
ho.
they don't celebrate Christmas though.
No, well, she said, well, we do celebrate Christmas sometimes, but it's not a big thing. For them, it's the Spring Festival.
Yeah.
So we were learning about Christmas and Easter. She'd never even heard of Easter.
That's crazy. Don't get me wrong, some of the iTutor classes are random because like people like us can write them. So there's like I taught one on Obama, taught one on like Justin Bieber. That's another one I taught. So Michael Jackson as well. He was another one. The kid was like, "Who's Michael Jackson?" And I'm like,
yeah.
And he wasn't interested at all. I'm like, "This is the moonwalk," and he's like,
yeah.
It's usually not too bad though. Normally they pick something they're interested in and they get it, which is good because most of the adults come there with they've come to progress in their career probably. So they can choose to do like business orientated lessons, or if they're a doctor they can do medical words or whatever. And it is really good like that. So I think it is nice that they can choose. That's what I was going to say actually. So when you do those regular slides and then the Oxford University ones, you don't get assigned like regular students, but you can end up seeing the same student over and over, especially if you both always have the same time slot. And then outside of that, they can invite you to a program called Super Junior, which is where they can, like the parents pay more so that they can request the same teacher over and over. I've never done that. I think because I only do my 7 hours and then I chop and change them all the time, so I'm never there really at the same time every week. So it's nice and it isn't. I understand that when you build the connection with a student, it's good, and you can get them to listen to you more. But at the same time, like for me, like what if you got a student that was like terrible and you had to keep teaching them?
Well, I've got a regular student at the moment, and she is so difficult.
Yeah.
And every time I see her name pop, I'm like, oh no. And it's really bad because I have her twice a week as well.
Oh gosh.
But the other day I said to her, maybe you should stop saying what, because it comes across very rude. Say pardon.
Did she do it?
Yeah, she did. Yesterday I had on Thursday she said pardon. And I was so proud. I was like, oh, good girl. Well done.
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, but it was just so like sometimes I think, oh no, please just be good today in class.
My regular student that I had at Dada used to sit on an exercise ball and he'd have the iPad on the floor, but he'd be bouncing on a ball the whole time. Like sometimes his face was looking down at me, sometimes he would just roll around. And at first I thought he knew no English at all because he wouldn't speak to me. But then I realised, I think it was that dinosaur class I was telling you about. I think he was bored the whole time.
Yeah, he was. Sometimes, they would get bored if you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're saying hello. Say hello.
Hello.
You can show her your car.
Wow, red one.
Is that your car? He loves cars at the moment. We watch cars every day, about 3 times a day.
Wow. Yeah. My son's like that with one TV show, and he's watched it. There's like 47 episodes of it on Netflix, and he's watched it all about 3 times this week. It's crazy.
His car, yes. Oh. That's funny.
Do you have the TEFL or TESOL certificate already?
Yes. I could email it to you.
Is it TEFL or TESOL or something else?
TEFL.
That's fine. Oh, I've put it in there. I'm just filling a little form that I have to send over to them as well.
Oh.
What's your date of birth?
9/8/81. Oh, Mama's talking. Shall we do some colouring?
Okay. So Let me just...
It's blue. Blue.
So we just have like a couple of like interviewee questions, if that's okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's fine.
What would you do if one of the students was having a hard time focusing on the materials?
Oh God. Now you've caught me, haven't you? I think I'll try and explain to them very slowly, take my time, just make sure they can hear me clearly, and use a lot of TPR.
Yeah, that's a good one actually. Yeah, that's really, I think that's one
I
of
think
the
that's
main
really
things, isn't it?
important. Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
like I always say as well, if they're not focusing and they're like really not interested, it's fine to like take a break and do like
Yeah,
sing a song or ask questions or whatever.
yeah. And what
Try
I do
and
is I say, do you want to play a game? So it's normal if they're a bit bored and they're not
yes.
interested. I play noughts and crosses. Within 2 minutes, they're happy to go back to reading again.
Sometimes they just need that break. They're in school all day. They actually
Yeah.
study like all the time. Those in
Or
China
even
anyway.
during the school holidays, I've been speaking to
Yeah,
the children.
doing their
What have
homework.
you been doing today? All I get is, I've been doing homework. And I'm like, don't you go out to play football or to the park or swimming?
They get more
No.
homework in summer to try and keep them busy. That's
Oh,
what they tell me.
really?
Yeah, one of the girls told me, she's like, let me tell you about my and my classmates' life. We live at the school, so we get up at 6 in the morning. We like go to classes till 8 at night, and then on Saturday when we go home for the weekend, we take English lessons online, and then we go back to
No.
school on Sunday. I was like, that's
Well,
crazy.
one of the kids told me they start school at 7 o'clock and finish at 3. And then after school, they've got either music lessons or
Yeah,
football. And then they go home and then they've got online English lessons.
they must be
So it's
exhausted.
yeah, it's full on. I've had kids, that's 8-year-old boy, literally falling asleep in class.
It's
And
so
it was my
crazy.
last student, so it must have been about 9 o'clock or quarter to 9 in China. Literally, his eyes were going like this. I felt so bad for him.
I was teaching a
So,
kid at like 11 o'clock their time last night.
really?
I think I had a 9-year-old, the half 10 class, and then a 14-year-old at 11.
No.
And one of them was going to school the next morning.
Oh my goodness, don't they sleep?
And they often are at night, maybe 9 o'clock. I say, like, are you going to sleep after class? No, I've got to do my homework.
God,
And they get
my
like
10-year-old goes 7.
they often have like they've got to do Chinese homework and English homework and math like all on the same day.
Wow,
And
it's
during
hard
summer,
because,
they have to send it to their teacher, and then their teacher sends them more.
oh my goodness, that's so much.
One of the other kids, 18-year-old, actually told me that their first month of college is military training as well.
Yes, yeah,
It's
yeah, I was told
mental.
that, yeah.
I
And
had no idea. I was like, so what will you study? And he's like, I have to do my military training first.
yeah, true, yeah.
It's crazy.
Scary, isn't it? Different world.
So different. Okay. What would you do if one of your students couldn't understand the vocabulary that you were trying to introduce?
I would, hang on a minute. I would, again, explain, try and draw pictures. I've got my whiteboard, try and
They're
say
so good.
it clearly. Um, my phone, sometimes I get the pictures up.
As that's what I was going to say. I'll make a point of saying, "Hey, I'm finding a picture," and then I'll hold it up and
Yes,
show them. Um,
yeah.
I do the same with translation. If it's something we still aren't understanding, I'll translate the word and like push it right
Oh, I
up
do that.
or
And I'll
copy
be
and
learning.
paste it in the chat. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I'll press Google, say the word in Chinese, and I'll repeat it.
yeah, that's it. I have an app on my phone that'll speak the word in Chinese as well. So
Oh,
if that
dear.
it sounds like a robot though, they don't understand it usually.
I go on Google and I write homework in Chinese or yesterday in Chinese, family in Chinese, and you can click on it and it says the word.
That's really
Then
good.
I'll repeat it. And some of them sometimes laugh at me.
Yeah. I tried to learn a little bit Chinese, and the first time I was using it, they were kind of laughing at me, and I'm like, "Did I do it right?" They're like, "Yeah." Why are you laughing at me then?
And I keep saying, you teach us Chinese now, and I teach you English. You need to be careful.
So,
Okay.
kind of what happens now is I send just this interview over to my manager, and he'll just look at it, and because you've taught before, they don't need to see your teaching. It's because you've been doing it so long, like they are confident that you'll be fine. So if you want me
Yeah.
to like send it over, if you don't want me to sort of
Yeah.
send it to apply, then I won't. But yeah,
I mean, you've got the baby in there. Is that all right?
I think it'll be fine.
Oh, you've gone off.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh.
Is it okay now?
No. Hello.
Is it okay?
Red car.
Can you hear me
Red
now?
car. Car. Dog.